What's going on? So if I were to have clicked this video, I know the first thing I would have thought is, who is this guy and what makes him think he has the credibility to talk about a topic like this? And I just want to go over that really quickly. I am extremely grateful. I've been so lucky in my life, but I was involved in a group of students that all wanted to be entrepreneurs. And we kind of became lifelong friends and stuck together. And luckily, I just have a lot of friends that are entrepreneurs, and including myself, I've seen a lot of businesses start and fail, as well as the lucky ones that were able to make it and make money. So I've been super lucky in my life. I do own a few businesses. Like I said, I've had more that have failed than have been successful, but I've noticed a pattern, and it's pretty obvious. There's no like crazy secret I'm gonna tell you here, but I have noticed a pattern, and I've noticed a couple different ways of thinking about it. And the reason I'm making this video is I know, hey, I would have wanted to watch a video like this 10 years ago. And I probably did actually YouTube videos 10 years ago and tried to figure out like, what are good business practices? What's a good way to do it? So I'm basically making this for a younger me. And I really hope that I am able to deliver some value to somebody who's considering starting their own business. So let's just get straight to the point. There's two main ingredients that in my humble opinion are needed to have a successful business: genuine interest and passion. Those are the two things that are needed. Now, the first thing I would think of is, wait a minute, I know plenty of people who have a business, and whatever that service or good is that that business does, they're not genuinely interested or passionate about that. And my argument to that would be, but hold on a second, they were actually genuinely interested and passionate about business as a whole. What I mean by that is they were the person that was like, I know I want to start a business. I'm not sure what business it is, but that's what I want to be. I want to be an entrepreneur. And they were truly just like passionate about that and really interested and eager to learn. Those are the people that have a product or service of their business, and they're not particularly passionate about that thing, but they're able to be successful. And if you're wondering, how do I know if I'm genuinely interested or passionate about something? The easiest answer that I can think of is it fun? Is it exciting? Would you look forward to learning more about that topic or doing that, whatever it is? If you think back in school, if you were lucky enough to like get an A in a class and it just came naturally to you, it was probably because you were genuinely interested and passionate about it. It didn't feel like learning. It didn't feel like work. It was just fun. It was exciting. I think if you look forward to something and it's fun for you, then you can say you're interested and passionate about it. So I just want to elaborate on that idea to give some advice of somebody who's interested in starting a business. So I want to give advice to two different people. One being somebody that's genuinely interested in business. They know that that's what they want to be as an entrepreneur. They're just not sure what they want to do yet. And then another kind of person that has this great idea and they want to turn it into a business, but they're not particularly interested in business in general and how to go about doing that. So first, let's talk about this person right here that has this great idea and they want to turn it into a business. The first thing you got to do is validate the idea. Make sure that there is a demand for it. Make sure you're not the only person who really finds it to be fascinating, interesting, and that wants to buy this product or service. There's a lot of videos out there you can watch on how to validate. Leave a comment if you want me to make one about how to properly validate an idea, but that's step one. Step two is you need to make a business plan. Make a business plan for 1 year, 12 months. And then in that business plan, there's gonna be two main things. There's gonna be how much sales you're gonna do, what's your revenue, and then how much money is it gonna cost you to do that, so your expenses. Now, let's go ahead and cut your revenue in half. So if you think you're gonna do 100,000 in revenue, cut it down to 50. And then your expenses, let's say that you think you're gonna have $20,000 in expenses, you're gonna double that. So now you have 40,000 in expenses and 50,000 for revenue. You're still profitable. You're gonna make 10 grand in that situation. If you do that experiment and you're still profitable, then you probably got something there. If not, I would be very careful and do some more research, but that's how you can really know, can you turn this into a business that's gonna be able to make some income? There's a lot of other things you can do there, but start right there. Now, the last thing, what I really wanted to say about that person is this is the rare circumstance where I would actually suggest that it might be best for you to team up and find a partner. And the partner that you're looking for is the person over here, somebody who's just super interested, passionate, they want to be an entrepreneur, they just don't know what they want to do. And you team up with them, you're the creator, have this great idea, this guy is going to run the business, and you need to make sure you have a clear, concrete agreement where the responsibilities are separated and who's responsible for what. But in that case, I've seen that marriage of people be wildly successful and have a lot of happiness and fulfillment and that sort of thing. So let's talk about the guy who just wants to own a business, is super passionate about it. You know, there's a few things I would think there, but two things really come to mind. One is take advantage of what's available today that wasn't available 50 years ago. I think it's easier to start and have a successful business now than it was 50 years ago, and not just by a little bit, by a tremendous amount. And you know, the example I'll use, and you can apply this a lot of different ways, but it's so much easier to scale today with the current world that we live in. But the example I'll use is let's say that you have a store. Back in the day, your possible customers, your market, was the people that lived wherever you live. So if you live in a town of 100,000 people, that's pretty much your limit, like, of people who are going to come to your store and buy whatever you're selling in that store. Versus today, your store can be online, which means your reach is everybody online. So we're talking about over 1 billion people can come buy from your store. So the scalability there is just tremendous relative to the past. So I would definitely think in those terms, like, what's something that you could do now that you couldn't do before to make it, when I say scalable, rapid growth, something that can grow, blow up huge and be easy to duplicate or just grow, where you don't have to get like 100 employees to do 10 million in revenue. You could do that just yourself. There's a lot of ideas out there today where that's possible, where it just didn't exist, 30 years ago. All right, now the other thing is you're probably thinking, okay, if I'm genuinely interested and passionate about business, what if I have an idea or something else that I'm genuinely interested and passionate about? Now, again, that is great. That's an awesome thing if you can bring those two things together. Just run that test though, because there's been plenty of ideas that I was interested and passionate about that I even started a business on, and it was just a hole in my pocket. It didn't make money, and it's because, there's not really a need for it. It doesn't solve a problem. People don't want the service or the good. So you got to be careful there. So validate the idea, then run that test. Because you could probably start a business with something like that, but maybe that business is going to make, I don't know, $10,000 for the first, 2 or 3 years, versus you could have done another business. And since you're just generally interested in business, you could have made 100 grand in the first couple of years, but it's just what you chose to do. Now, thinking along those lines, it doesn't have to be a product or service that you're genuinely interested and passionate about. Something that you could do is just don't reinvent the wheel. Just do it again. There are hundreds of businesses. Specifically, let's look at the trade businesses: plumbers, electricians, painters, roofers. There's plenty of people that have had a wildly successful business doing that, one of those trade businesses. And they'll even tell you how they did it. There's plenty of information out there. Everything's free on the internet now. All you have to do is just follow that road plan. Just do what somebody else has already done, and you can build a great, big, successful business. And if you're genuinely interested and passionate about business, then you'll make it work and you'll make a bunch of money at it. No point in reinventing the wheel if business is your passion. Get one under your belt, get financial freedom. Then maybe try something that's a little bit more risky that may or may not make money, but you'll be happier doing because you're passionate and interested in it. You're doing what you love, and not just running a business, but you're merging those two things together. So that's it. And I mean, the trifecta, the holy grail would be is if you're genuinely interested and passionate about whatever service or product you're providing, you're also just happen to be the personality type that's genuinely interested and passionate about business, and you use the power of today's world economy and the internet to find something that's extremely scalable. And I mean, those are the guys that just blow up with income and money. But remember, it's not all about the income and money. If you do what you love, there's a lot of fulfillment and happiness in that. And unfortunately, a lot of those guys I was just saying that blow up with money are the most miserable people on the planet. Happiness is relative, so keep that in mind. I hope that you got some value out of this video. If you did, and you want to let me know, just like, comment, or subscribe. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.